Hello, I'm Zachary Wood, and I'm here to interview you today. What's your name?
Travis Wood.
What year were you born?
1978.
Where were you born?
I was born in Ottawa, Kansas.
What was life growing up in Kansas?
I grew up in a town of 600 people, actually, in Pomona, Kansas. So Ottawa was a town of about 12 to 15,000 where I was born. And I grew up on a small farm. My parents were, my father's name was Roger Wood. My mother's name was Llewellyn Anderson. And they were married in 1977, and they had me when my mother was 17 and my father was 19, which was a kind of a typical age in Kansas. It was, to think about it today, it's really young, but in Kansas at that time, it was kind of somewhat normal. And so we grew up on a small farm, on the same 10 acres my grandparents from my mother's side lived on the same land that we lived on. And some of my earliest memories were, milking cows, driving a tractor. We grew our own vegetables. One thing I always remember was canning vegetables. So through the summer, we would grow, tomatoes and squash and, turnips and cabbage. And what we would do is you would grow that all summer. And at the end of the summer, you would have your harvest, and then we would spend most of the time in the fall canning the vegetables, and that would keep us going through the winter, which was interesting.
Can you describe to me your typical day at school?
We living in rural Kansas, so a bus would come and pick us up. So I remember getting up. We had to get up around 6 o'clock. It was a long ride into the town to the school. So I remember getting the bus around 7 o'clock in the morning, ride the bus to school. And, in a town of 600 people, I can remember the elementary school, or kindergarten to elementary school, extremely small. And we were all together with the high school students as well. And it was just, for me, it was just a normal, typical school. You started in kindergarten. Yeah, a little different, it's,
Yeah, so you're very young when you're doing that. And it was like, what, was it easy to make friends, or was it kind of hard being only 600 people?
It's going to a small school. I didn't go to preschool or anything like that. I went right into kindergarten at 5 years old. And I had a couple friends. But my parents divorced when I was 9, and so from 5 to 9 I'd made a lot of friends. But then when my parents divorced, I moved around with my father a lot, and it was hard to make friends because we had moved so much.
So you never really had any close?
No, I never really had any close friends from my early years. No.